Started. We're going to get back into a routine with the tax committee. And I would like to welcome John Gaunt to the tax committee. He is our new committee assistant. So we welcome him to the committee. I look forward to working with him. Committee, are there any requests for bill introductions? Senator Fagg. Thank you, Senator. Committee, any questions? Is there any objection for the bill request? Seeing none, we'll make the request. With this group, you never know. Thank you. Senator, did you have another one too, or is that the only one? Okay, thank you. Senator Peck.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I did not get my question asked. No, I was kidding, Senator Fagg. I failed to bring the RS with me, but I do have on my desk in my office an RS number. But it's a simple bill. It would provide a back-to-school sales tax holiday the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday of August in the state of Kansas.
Thank you, Senator. Committee, any questions? Any objection? No, and I have to tell the good senator, thank you. I know he worked on this in the House, and I'm anxious to have a hearing on the bill. So thank you, Senator. Committee, I do have a couple of bill requests. One of them is a highway naming for a bridge in Pittsburgh, Kansas, to name after, I'm trying to think, Mr. Crane, who passed away, and it's right next to his business. Are there any questions on the request? I spoke with the transportation chairman, and he asked that I introduce it in this committee. So is there any objection to the request? Seeing none, we'll make the request. Committee, I have another bill request. It's concerning education, and I have spoke to the education chair on this. I'm going to go ahead and make the request in tax, but it will get referred to education, and it is addressing critical race education in Kansas. Are there any questions? Any objection to the bill introduction? Seeing none, we'll make the request. Are there any other requests for bill introductions? Committee, we may have another one at the end of the meeting, but let's go ahead and get started on the hearings for today. We'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 327. This is nothing new to, actually it is new to this committee. It's new to everyone. I don't think people realize this is an issue. A constituent contacted me this summer about this. Thank you, Amelia.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Just to start with, both bills that you're hearing today deal with retailer sales tax. And just as a reminder, the sales tax is charged on the gross receipts or the selling price of that property or service that is taxable. And so this first bill, Senate Bill 327, would exclude separately stated delivery charges from the definition of the sales or selling price. If you look at the bill on pages 7 and 8, you'll see the definition of sales or selling price in KSA 79-3602 L. And you will see then that currently the definition includes delivery charges. And delivery charges are also defined in the statute, and it includes things such as transportation, shipping, postage, handling, crating, packing. This particular bill would amend the definition to exclude delivery charges that are separately stated on the invoice, bill of sale, or similar document that's provided to the purchaser. And the bill would take effect from and after publication in the statute book.
Thank you, Amelia. Committee, any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Oh, Senator Peck, I'm sorry. Senator Corson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe if this is a question for conferees, please just let me know. Are there any streamlined sales implications with respect to this?
Yeah, thank you.
My understanding from a review of the current sales tax agreement, and possibly a conferee can correct me if I'm interpreting it incorrectly, but my understanding that a state may include or exclude delivery services, delivery charges from their definition, but they do ask that it be separately stated on the bill of sale. It's a separately enumerated item.
Senator Corson.
And that's how this bill is written. Is that correct?
Amelia.
Yes, that was the intent.
Senator Steffen.
Thank you. And this pertains to any delivery charge across any sector of the economy.
Amelia. I think this is directly for online purposes is what it was, the intent, but it may deal across the board. You know what, Amelia, why don't you research that and get back to the committee on it? Would that be okay? Okay. Thank you. Good question. I think that's how the fiscal notes interpreted it. It is across the board. Senator Peck.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I think I will try to further confuse the issue. Or actually, I thought it was going to be a simple question until Senator Steffen weighed in, and as usual, he has really muddied the waters. I just said that for his benefit. But I would read this, so I'm asking the question if that's the intent or if that's the way the language is. Let's say I receive a load of lumber from Woods Lumber in Independence, Kansas. Little plug for local business. And on the invoice that they bring with them, that the driver brings with them, that they hand to me, and I write a check, it will show $30 delivery charge. That is listed separately, so it would not be calculated in with the sales tax. Is that correct?
So if I may, Amelia, I think that might be better answered by the Department of Revenue. And since they're in the room, would you mind answering that, Amy or Kathleen, either one?
Madam Chair and members of the committee, Kathleen Smith with the Department of Revenue. If the delivery charges were separately stated on the invoice under this legislation, it would not be subject to, it would not be considered as part of the selling price and would not be subject to tax. Correct.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So the vendor, Woods Lumber, how would they know this? Is it just up to them to try to understand? Does the department send out a memo, or is it in a book that
Absolutely. If the definition of sales price or selling price were to change and the legislation was passed, we would send out notices and all the retailers would know that the delivery charges, if separately stated, would not be subject to tax.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Kathleen. Would you mind addressing Senator Steffen's issue also, or question? I'm sorry.
Would you mind repeating?
Senator Steffen.
Would this extend to delivery charges across all sectors of the business world?
Absolutely. Anything, any item that is subject to tax and delivery charges are included with that, it would apply to those. So from out of state coming into the state of Kansas with delivery charges, those would not be part of the selling price.
Senator Steffen.
Yeah, thank you. This has to be interstate?
No, it can be both. I was just trying to address out of state and in state. Both would apply. I apologize.
Senator Steffen? Did you have another question? You sure? Okay. Senator Holland?
Madam Chair, thank you. Good morning, committee. I apologize. I actually didn't come in. I was late because I was tied up on something else. So just a couple of questions in for Kathleen. Thank you for being here. From a streamlined compliance standpoint, what does this do to that?
As Amelia had stated, we do have the ability within the streamlined sales tax agreement, if the state chooses to go this route, we can exclude the delivery charges from the definition of sales price if it is separately stated on the invoice.
And do we know if other states typically do this or they don't do this? Do we have any idea?
I do not, but we could do some research for the streamlined states.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And then I guess I would just have a question for your NFIB or the State Chamber of Commerce. How does this impact business operations if we were to make this change? How onerous would this be, particularly small businesses, if there were a change in this? Would this be something flexible for them, or is this something that's going to cause problems? Would they care to opine on that at this point?
I think I don't know that there's any answer that question, Senator. And if they do not break the delivery charges out, it would not be any changes. There would still be sales tax on it. They have to break the delivery charges out as a line item. Thank you. Amelia, Senator Peck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the department. I'm sorry, I was looking down, didn't realize they'd stepped away from the microphone.
No, that's fine. Any other questions, committee, for Amelia? Seeing none, thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you,
Senator
Madam
Peck.
Chair. Since the department I didn't see in my folder were scheduled to testify, looking at the fiscal note, I'm confused. Two reasons. One, 4.8 million seems rather extravagant to me, but when I look at paragraph 1 on page 2, it says that the department, this is toward the bottom of the paragraph, the department estimates that state compensating should be use tax collections would decrease by $3 million each year if delivery charges, et cetera. But then on the fiscal note, it shows 4. So two questions. One, why the discrepancy between 3 in the paragraph and 4 on the front? And how in the world did we come up with a 4.8 million for fiscal year 23?
Kathleen.
Senator Peck, at the top of that paragraph on page 2, we did look at the retail trade data for the retailer sales tax, and we found that 1.8 billion in retail sales tax comes from the retail trade. So we're assuming that a portion of that is going to be delivered to customers in the state of Kansas. And we computed a 0.1% for delivery charges on the retail trade. So that will account for 1.8 million for in-state. And then we've got the 3 million for products that are being delivered from out of state.
Senator Peck.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I appreciate that explanation. Not necessarily agree with the numbers at all, but at least I have an understanding of why the fiscal note is as high as it is. But again, for the record, Madam Chairman, I don't agree with this fiscal note. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, any other questions for the department? Seeing none, thank you very much, Kathleen. Senator Steffen.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I'm not
Kathleen.
sure who this question is for, but I'd like to know the answer to it anyway. Where'd this bill come from?
This bill came from a constituent request, my constituent request, an email this summer. He was extremely upset because online sales tax was being collected, and when he found out postage and shipping was also being charged sales tax, he requested that we do something about it. So our first conferee, I'd like to welcome to the committee, Barbara, good friend and a patriot. Welcome.
My name is Barbara Saldavar, and I'm just a citizen who does not like to pay taxes. Seems like we're taxed on every end, and so I just appreciate being able to pay for something without these. A lot of us don't know about these hidden charges, and I just learned myself. So we would like to not have to pay that. We just, every little bit helps the household budget. So I want to thank you, Chairman Tyson, and the members of the committee for discussing this issue. I mean, it's important to us, the people who go out and vote. Thanks.
Thank you, Barb. Would you stand for questions? Committee, do you have any questions for Barbara? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you. Committee, I don't have any other conferees listed. Is there anybody else that would like to testify for the bill? Any opponents to the legislation? Any neutral? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 327. I will pause here for a minute. Senator, would you like a point of personal privilege?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I appreciate that, and yes, I would. I have with me some guests. I've got 3 pages in the audience, 3 young ladies from Holy Name Catholic School in Coffeyville. We've got Laura Crafton, River Sanchez, and Leaf Sanchez. They are the 3 young ladies right behind Mr. Hoover. Girls, if you would stand for just a moment, please. And then we also have the fathers of the 3 girls, one father of 2, and another father of 1, who are joining them. And I'm sorry I don't have their name on a piece of paper, so I can't call their name. But welcome to the legislative process, ladies. Look forward to your service as pages for the Kansas Senate today. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, and welcome to the Tax Committee. Thank you. Amelia will open the hearing on Senate Bill 354. Would you give us a brief overview? Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Senate Bill 354 again relates to sales tax and the definition of sales or selling price. This bill would exclude discounts and coupons from sales or selling price. Again, the changes would be found on pages 7 and 8 of your bill if you're looking for them. Currently, the definition includes consideration received by the seller from third parties if certain conditions are met, such as the purchaser presents a coupon, a certificate, or other documentation claiming a price reduction or discount. There's some other requirements in there. The bill would strike that inclusion language, so it would no longer be there. The bill would also amend on page 8 to remove from the exclusion language a current requirement that the discount or the coupon not be reimbursed by the third party. And again, this bill would take effect from and after publication in the statute book.
Committee, any questions for Amelia? We've seen this legislation before. There is a little bit of a difference on this because of the streamlined sales tax, and I'll have Eddie address that if he would. Thank you, Amelia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is related to Senator Corson's question on the first one. Under the Streamlined Sales and Use Tax Agreement as it currently exists, this bill would put Kansas in violation of that agreement. Kansas is a member state of the Streamlined Sales and Use Tax Agreement, and at Senator Tyson's request, Kansas has put in a request for an amendment to the Streamlined Sales and Use Tax Agreement that would allow for manufacturers' coupons to either be included or excluded from the sales tax. States would have the option. The Streamlined staff has indicated to me that they've already assigned that issue out to their work groups to study the issue, and they have it tentatively scheduled for their May governing board meeting to decide on that issue. The other thing that I would note is that the Streamline amendment that is being considered by their work group is actually a little bit more narrowly tailored than Senate Bill 354, and so in order to bring this bill into alignment with what is kind of currently being considered by the Streamline group, it would require a language change that is somewhat technical in nature, but does actually narrow it. Technical is probably a misnomer there. This bill kind of allows for any third-party reimbursements, and it would need to be more narrowly tailored to specifically manufacturers' coupons.
Thank you, Eddie. Any questions for Eddie? And committee, just so you know, I will be bringing the amendment so that we narrow the scope to manufacturers' coupons and can comply with Streamline. Senator Holland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to clarify with Eddie and yourself, does the amendment, if that was adopted, would that make the bill language then currently acceptable, Streamlined, or not?
Eddie, do you mind?
The communications I have from Streamline staff seem to indicate that it would. They're the ones who recommended the language to bring it in line with what they are considering. So kind of two things would have to happen. This bill would need to be amended to Streamline, but also the Streamline agreement would have to be amended by the Streamline governing board.
Thank you.
Committee, just for your background, I know some are aware of this. We've seen this bill several times, and we've passed the manufacturer's rebate excluding sales tax in Kansas on it for vehicles, but which Streamline has that exception, but it does not have it for manufacturers' coupons. So that is our attempt with this legislation. Thank you. Committee, any other questions? We have one conferee. Barb, welcome back.
Sorry, I bet you're getting tired of me, but anyway. My name is Barbara Saldavar, and I'm just an average woman who's been the main purchasing agent for my household for over 50 years. Through those 50 years, I've on occasion clipped coupons. I have relatives that are diligent about clipping coupons, and we're talking manufactured coupons, I found out. Time spent on this, if you're an avid coupon person, it can take hours. I used to spend all Sunday afternoon clipping coupons. Now we discover that we're paying taxes on the whole purchase instead of the actual amount. I just kind of think that's not fair because it's a hidden tax again, and because we are already overtaxed in all other areas, and we just need a break. That's about all I have to say about it. Thanks, Chairman Tyson and the committee for discussing this issue. And we taxpayers appreciate your help to make ends meet in our household budgets. Please pass 354 favorably. Thanks.
Thank you, Barbara. Committee, any questions for Senator Holland? Barb, would you mind standing for questions? No, that's okay. Senator Holland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And actually, Barb, I just want to thank you for being here to testify in this. We had 4 young children. My wife clipped me a manufacturer's coupon and saved us lots of money. And I do agree. I think there's parallels here with some of the other benefits we grant, like for auto sales and things like that. So I would like to see some version of this go through.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it, Senator.
Thank you, Senator. Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Well, committee, since we have seen this legislation, would there be any objection to working these bills, or do you want to hold them over? You want to hold them over? Okay, that's fine. We'll hold over. Committee, we are having hearings next week. We will be working these bills and other bills next week. It's going to be a busy week. The week after that, we have the revenues budget again, and I think BODA's budget. So we will be trying to incorporate those too, to prepare for the weeks to come. I will warn you that Tuesday is going to be a very busy day. We have 2 food sales tax bills that we will be hearing that day, so that this committee can get an idea of what the actual definitions are, what the fiscal notes are, and move forward on that legislation, hopefully. So committee, any other business to be brought before us? Seeing none, we're adjourned.